Howdy, y'all. I just had an interesting conversation with a feller. He was saying on, our local little get-together spot that it's a good idea to use tire fires as signals for your neighbors to know that you're in distress. Well, let me explain to you real quick about the problems with tire fires. Hang on a second, we're going to get into it. Much better. Now, tire fires for signaling. In the old days, World War I, World War II, it was common practice to take old, blown out tires off of your truck and signal to the logistics portion of your detachment that you needed tires, and that because you were without a tire, you were in distress. So that's where this comes from, okay? Now, mind you, that's also where targeting... Hold on a second, folks. So anyways, this is also where targeting the tire fire with artillery and whatnot started. Because in World War I, if you could stop the flow of supplies from getting to the front lines, you could stop the advance. In World War II, it was very similar. However, they had learned since then not to light tire fires to indicate a situation of distress, but rather to send runners. Now that happened in World War I as well, but it just so happens that the runners and the pigeons were more useful than the tire fires were. And they caught on to this very quickly. So in World War II, when they figured that out, they stopped, for the most part, lighting tire fires. However, the civilian population didn't realize this, and so they went into the stupidity of lighting tire fires for the next 7,500 years. I'm sorry to tell you all this, but that's not a good idea anymore. And I'm about to tell you why. You see, here in America, and most folks who have been in the military or come from a military family or grew up in the military or just military nuts, they know this for a fact. America is the foremost provider of heat-seeking munitions in the world. We make more missiles than I believe Gandhi had followers per year. So when it comes down to it, in all reality, you don't want to give them something to shoot at that's stationary. Now, here's my other problem with a tire fire. You cannot put it out. I don't give a flying fuck how good you are, what fire retardants you use, what you utilize to stop that fire. It has sulfur in it, which is an oxidizer. It's part of the tire. Are you starting to see and understand why a tire fire is a bad idea? Okay, well, about the 1980s, 1990s, me and my dad and my uncle and, several of our family members were all sitting out on the back porch one night talking. We got to talking about this situation because we started seeing this being utilized on the television. This was back in '93 when all that went down in Mogadishu, and America had one of its darkest hours. I piped up and said, well, it's a bad idea to use tires. My dad, he pointed out that, you know what, I was right. My uncle turned around and said, well, I know this place just outside of Arizona, on the other side of Arizona, in New Mexico, where I can get aerial fireworks. And my dad said, fuck, that's brilliant. That's fucking brilliant. Aerial fireworks? You've got fire. You've got it moving away from you at quite a great speed. And on top of that, you've got a signaling device. Whoa. 1995. What happened in Utah? Y'all remember? I do. Aerial fireworks are outlawed. Oh, here's another mind blower for you. Aerial fireworks are outlawed in every state of the union. Why? Now, you and I both know we can make our own aerial fireworks with just a little bit of scientific knowledge and a little bit of know-how and a little bit of effort. But when it come down to it, nothing beats pre-made. If you've got aerial fireworks, great. That's fucking awesome. Because that means that you're already prepared. You've already got what you need in order to signal your neighbors, your neighborhood, your friends, your family. Hey, motherfuckers, I'm in deep shit. I need help now. And we've got to get away from this idea that aerial fireworks are for displays of celebration, because in all reality, that's just like a magnet for police anyways, right? You shoot an aerial firework at any other time of the year except for the 4th of July or January 1st, what happens? Answer honestly. My point is that we need to start utilizing an appropriate method to signal each other. Flashlights and Morse code are great. If you know Morse code, if your neighbors know Morse code, fucking awesome. If not, you need to have a specific way of signaling your family and your friends that either A, you're still alive, or B, you need help. And you need to know the difference. Okay? I'm still alive. Okay, a bunch of aerial fireworks go off. I'm in deep shit and I need help. One at a time. One at a time. And give intervals of certain amount of time between those in order to know the difference between. Okay? You shoot off 3 at once, that's somebody saying, oh, I'm still alive, motherfuckers. You shoot off 1 at a time. Okay, now we're talking. Something's deep shit and someone needs to go check it out. You see where I'm coming from here? This is fucking logic, reason. My reasoning is that during the Somalian conflicts, American troops, American choppers, utilized the tire fires to know which region of Mogadishu the fighting was in order to avoid that zone so that they wouldn't get shot down. They also used the tire fires for targeting. Yeah. They shot missiles at the tire fires in order to cause a dispersal effect, kind of, they hit the tire and it explodes, and that causes flames and goo to shoot everywhere and takes out a whole bunch of fighters and takes down a whole block. This is my point. A tire fire is a problem. And we need to come up with a different signaling method. Now, this all stemmed from me talking with somebody about, a situation that we've used for almost 100 years to talk to each other. Without cell phones, without sending up a bird into the sky, without sitting there and typing out an email or writing a letter. We use tire fire, smoke signals, right? Well, here's the problem, folks. You're not the only one who knows what that signal means. And unfortunately, that signal makes you a target. But here's the thing about fireworks. If you shoot off one firework, nobody knows where it came from. Nobody knows, without being in that general vicinity, exactly what happened or why. Where exactly it was launched from. That's my point. Your neighbors will know. Your friends, your family will know. But the people that will not know are the ones that you don't want to know. They won't understand what that means. See what I'm saying? And, this is why chemistry is important. This is why we spent so much time on chemistry in high school. Well, at least those of us that had chemistry in high school. Ugh. Yeah, I know. It bothers me too. I got my first week in middle school chemistry. And that was it. State of California, that's gone. Right now. Bye-bye to that. Next year, it's gone for fucking high school too. They shut that shit down, bruh. There's a couple of private high schools. That's it. In the state of California, there are a couple of private high schools. Probably about like 5 or 6 of them, tops, that teach chemistry. You don't even get taught the carbonic acid reaction until you get to college nowadays. Yeah, that's the vinegar and baking soda. It scares the fuck out of me because our country actually became great through chemistry. It's also part of my heritage. I'm Cherokee by heritage on my father's side. And Cherokee people are known for being some of the first chemists in America. Okay? So, it's kind of a point of pride for me that chemistry is, one of my strong suits. I learned chemistry. And this is why it's important for y'all to go and do that extra step. Learn that extra amount. Because If you're like me and you know chemistry, you understand a tire fire can't be put out. And you also understand why a heat-seeking missile works. You also understand how a heat-seeking missile works. You understand how to defend against one. That's the whole idea here. You have to know what you're doing, or you're going to get yourself killed. That's why I'm trying so damn hard to try and break the stupidity. Now, I understand y'all out there in the middle of Rurality Central saying, oh, well, but my neighbors are 50 miles away from me, bro. Then a freaking tire fire ain't going to help you. They're not going to see that signal till you're dead. This is my point. Learn rocketry. Learn how to use drones. Learn how to use chemistry. And for heaven's sake, if your neighbors are 50 freaking miles from you, harden the shit out of your particular position. That's pitiful, bro. You should at least have some form or fashion of communication that cannot be hindered. Whether that's a runner, whether that's freaking pigeons. If it's a dog with a freaking satchel on its back. Just harden your position. Because a tire fire is nothing more than just a target. You know, and a lot of other signaling methods make you a target. Flashlight in the nighttime. Signal fire at night. You see my point? You want to signal without showing your exact position. If you don't, you're a target. And I don't like saying this, I don't like even mulling this, but the reality is, there's people in this country today that do not have your best interests at heart. And you are the only one who has that ability to protect yourself from them. So, in that instance, in that interest, you know, you're trying to be an independent person, you're trying to walk the righteous line, you know, and be a good person and, you know, do right by your family, right by your friends, right by your faith, you know, right by your morals. Well, ask yourself, if you're trying to defend your family, why would you make your family a target? I'll leave you with that. Y'all commentators, let me know down in the commentator section below what y'all think about this particular thought process. Whether it's good or bad, it all helps. And, you know, give this video a like. Let's get this information out there to folks because it's obviously important. Signaling is life and death in a SHTF situation. You have to know how to signal your friends, your family, your compatriots that you are in distress without making yourself a target. So, anywho, I sat here and chunnered long enough. Thank y'all. You taters have a nice day. Goodspeed.